Hi friends, my name is Leah. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello. I'm a personal trainer, online coach, and dancer. And today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I track my CROCKPOT meals in MyFitnessPal. In my opinion, this is the most easiest, direct way to do it. It's all based on weight, and it also allows you to customize your portion sizes as opposed to pre-setting the amount you're going to eat, and I think that offers a lot of flexibility, especially for people who are cooking for like an entire family. So if you think that this video is going to be helpful for you, make sure you keep watching, and also don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Okay, so obviously you're going to need all of the ingredients that you use in your chili recipe. Totally up to you. I personally have my ground turkey, some onions, my spices, and then my diced tomatoes and green chilies, chili ready tomatoes, my chili beans, and then I have some tomato paste as well. It's easiest if you just start off having like a piece of paper and a pen and write down everything first, and then later on we're gonna put it in MyFitnessPal. I think this just kind of helps speed up the process so you're not like going back from like your ingredients to your phone, and you can do it all at once later on. Now, before I start adding all my ingredients into the crock pot, I'm first going to take the weight of the crock pot itself. So I'm not gonna weigh the lid, it's just unnecessary. So I'm gonna set that aside for now. And then I'm gonna take just this part of the crock pot and I'm going to weigh it on my scale. Everything that I'm weighing in this video is going to be weighed in grams, okay? We want to keep our units the same so that this method works. So I have my scale on, zeroed it out so it's nice and even. I'm gonna take my crock pot stone part, put it on top, let it settle. Okay, and I have that weight, which is 3,130 grams. So I'm gonna write that down because I'm going to need that later on. As a general rule, when it comes to macro tracking, you want to try to always weigh your food in grams. It's the smallest unit, it's the most accurate. So even if something, for instance, like these chili tomatoes, it has half a cup as a serving size, but then in parentheses, it says 119 grams. So I'm always going to use the grams option. I've had this happen before, like if you actually were to measure out half a cup of these chili ready tomatoes, it might not be exactly 119 grams. Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. So I always recommend to weigh your ingredients in grams and also track them in grams, as it's going to be the most accurate. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my crock pot back over into the holder. I'm going to zero out my scale again, and now I'm going to start adding my ingredients into my crock pot. So I'm gonna start off with my ground turkey. An easy way to do this to get the exact weight of something. You don't wanna just go by what the label says, because again, like this, for example, it says there are 12 servings per container, and then it gives me the serving size. So I could just calculate that out to get the total weight, but there's always going to be a margin of error. So what I like to do is I'm gonna put this whole thing on my scale. Right here, I'm going to zero it out. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna open my turkey up, and I'm going to put it in my crock pot. And then I'm going to put the packaging back on the scale. Okay, it says negative 1,319 grams. So that means that there was that many grams of turkey in this, and the fact that I put the packaging back on, it's accounting for that in the weight. So I'm gonna write this down. Again, I think this is the easiest way, so that later on you can go and add it in MyFitnessPal, but right now we're just getting all of our data written down. So next up, I'm going to put my onions in there. So same thing, I'm gonna take the lid off just because we don't need it. Set this aside, again, putting it on your scale, zeroing it out. Oop. Okay, now I'm going to just use half of these, so I might struggle a little bit. Okay, that was actually a lot easier than I thought. Put this back on my scale, and that was 112 grams of onions. So basically, you're going to follow this same exact process for all of your ingredients. So next up, I'm going to do my diced tomatoes and green chilies, put that on here. Actually, I'm going to get my can opener first and open this. Ooh. we are making a mess. That's fine. Okay. My crock pot. And 306 grams. You can do this with your exact recipe. You do not need to use the same ingredients as me, the same amounts. This method works for any amount that you're going to be making. And that's why I love it so much, because you can customize it to however much you're making. And I'm gonna show you. So since these are two of the same exact product, right? They're both chili ready tomatoes. I can promise you that they are probably going to weigh slightly different amounts. So let's test that theory. Getting it all out. Okay. 415 grams. Ooh. Okay. Moment of truth. That one was, wow, 414. So they were not really that different, but it's slight. Chili beans next. Let's see. Let's see if my theory works out for this one. First can. Ooh. Okay, that one, 433 grams. 0. Add it in. And, ooh, that was a good one, 440 grams. So there was a 7-gram difference between those two cans, and I emptied them out the same amount. So again, that just shows you that even though on the label it says, oh, there's this many servings, there's still slight differences between the same exact product just because of that margin of error. Okay. Ooh, it's thick. And again, this is a perfect example why we don't just go off by the label, because I'm not gonna get off like every single thing into the crock pot. So it's helpful that I'm actually measuring it out on my scale to be as accurate as possible. 165 grams, perfect. All right, so now I'm just going to add my seasonings in, and then I will continue showing you what the next step is.
Slow-mo? It's not a slow-mo right now. It's fine.
For seasonings, I'm just measuring with my heart. If you want to actually measure out your seasonings, by all means go for it. I personally don't track my seasonings. If you're someone who maybe needs to watch their sodium intake, stuff like that, it may be worth it for you to actually measure these out and track them in your recipe. However, I'm not being that diligent. It's important to be accurate with our main ingredients, but seasonings are just like, they're a little different. So for my seasonings, I just use garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper, and a little bit of chili powder. Okay, this last part will be the last thing that we need to do in terms of weighing on our scale. So what we're gonna do is we're going to get the total weight of all of our ingredients, including that stone part of our crock pot. So what you're gonna do, grab that and whoop, place it on your scale and get that total weight of everything. Okay, so I got my total weight. I'm gonna write that down. Okay, now remember at the beginning, we took the weight just of our stone, right? What we want for our recipe, we don't need the weight of the stone. We just need the weight of the ingredients inside. So we're going to take that weight from the beginning of just this and subtract it from the total weight. Do that math really quick on your phone, and then you get the weight of your ingredients. 360 grams. So make sure you write that down, because you're going to need it when it comes to plugging this recipe into MyFitnessPal and setting the serving size, okay? Oh, and real quick, if your ingredients in your crock pot is too heavy for your scale and you're getting an error, all you're gonna do is grab something else like a mixing bowl or something like that, place that on your scale, zero it out, and then just divide some of these ingredients out into your bowl. So you're just gonna have to take like 2 weights basically, and then add them together. It's still totally possible to do. Another like solution to that would just be getting a scale that goes up higher than whatever yours is at. But that's just a simple solution if it's too heavy for your scale. All right, so I'm gonna grab my stone, place it in the crock pot, and get that cooking. I'm putting mine on high, and we'll cook it for between like 4 to 5 hours. We're not gonna eat this tonight, but now we have a ton of chili, which I'm so excited about. It's like the perfect recipe for fall. And oh, actually that just reminds me, I just found out that if you have this type of lid on your crock pot that has the hooks, you're not supposed to cook with those latched. I never knew that. I always latch mine, and as you can see, I just like naturally went to do that. You're supposed to just place your lid on top, and those are really only supposed to be used if you're like traveling with this and like carrying it or something in your car. So just a little tip for you. Okay, now that we've measured out all of our ingredients, I'm going to show you how you actually put this recipe into MyFitnessPal so that you can track it as accurately as possible, and so that you can have as much as you want or as little as you want, and you're not committed to specific serving sizes. That is really the beauty behind this whole process. So I'm going to put a screen recording on the screen of what I'm doing on my phone so you can see exactly what this looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and open up MyFitnessPal, click on more, and then My Meals, Recipes, and Foods, create a recipe, enter ingredients manually. Now go ahead and title your recipe whatever you want. I'm just going to do chili recipe and then the date, since I might make this another time and maybe I'm going to do slightly different portion sizes. So now for servings, remember when we took the total weight and then we subtracted the pot and all that stuff? That's what you're going to put in servings. So there is a total, whatever your total is, it's going to probably be different than mine, but I'm going to place that into my servings. And again, that shows us that we're breaking it down in terms of grams by weight. So let's say, for example, one day you want to have 50 grams of this recipe. You can measure out 50 grams, and it's going to take that 50 gram chunk from your total chunk, okay? So a portion of a whole. It's pretty straightforward. So anyways, let's go ahead and add our ingredients. So add ingredient, and now again, everything we wrote down, you're just inputting that into MyFitnessPal. So I'm starting with my ground turkey, Jenny O, 93% lean. Again, remember, make sure you are doing this with grams. So this is the one, changing it to the grams, 1 gram, and then adding in my total grams, 13, 19, check. Okay, boom, that one's done. Going on to my tomatoes, which my brand is Great Value, Chili Ready Tomatoes. I always recommend typing it in as well, because sometimes, I had this happen to me today actually. I scanned the barcode, and you would think the barcode would be like the most accurate, but it brought up a completely different brand. I was like eating some yogurt and I caught it luckily, and I was like, that is not the brand. So I always recommend typing it in. So anyways, chili ready diced tomatoes, adding in my grams, 829, check, okay. Moving on to my beans. We have our serving sizes added, or servings in there, and then everything where it says like calories, fat, carbs, protein, don't worry about that yet. So let's go ahead and save it. Saving recipe. Perfect. So let's use the example I used earlier. Let's say I'm gonna have dinner tonight, and of this chili recipe, I'm gonna have 125 grams of it. I'm gonna go ahead and add that in, and then right there you have the exact macros for 125 grams of this chili. It makes this so easy. Like I said, if you're cooking for a family and you have this huge batch and you still want to track your food and track your macros, and you don't always have like individual serving sizes for whatever reason that are preset, and I think this just offers a ton of flexibility. So yeah, so that's exactly how you do it. This can also be done for things like soup, any like sort of crockpot recipe that you make regularly. You can do this same exact method for, and make your life a lot easier, hit your macros, and reach your goals. That completes this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment below, and give this video a thumbs up. If you have further questions, also leave me a comment. You can send me a message on Instagram, and I'll be happy to help you. Again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.